Good afternoon, fellow South Africans and fellow human beings, shall I say, around the world. This is Visvin Reddy. I am the national leader of the African Democratic Change, broadcasting live from here in South Africa, Durban in particular. So I want to welcome all of you to our new channel. It's Adec Live on YouTube, and you are welcome to subscribe to our channel. And if you want the latest updates on what's going on here in South Africa and with our politics, and of course the news behind the news, saying it like it is, calling a spade, then this is the right place and the right channel for you to be linked to. So I want to welcome all our viewers to the Adec's new YouTube channel. And today's topic, it's about the Phoenix killings. This has made headline news, not only here in South Africa, it's made headline news around the world. And of course, it's got all the tongues are wagging. But what really happened here in South Africa and in two major cities in particular, which is Durban in KwaZulu-Natal, where I am broadcasting from right now, and of course in Gauteng, is it's something that is unprecedented. People have never seen in their entire life scenes like what they've seen here in these two provinces. And of course, the government is busy once again focusing on all things that does not really matter. We need to get right down to the bottom of this. What really caused this mayhem, looting and unrest, which claimed the lives of over 300 people and resulted in damages worth over 50 billion rands. And of course, over 150,000 people are out of a job today as a result of the damages that was caused in a 7-day period. What was interesting was that we were left totally exposed. In fact, even President Ramaphosa, the president of South Africa, he made a statement that this took them all by surprise and that they were not ready for it. Initially, he blamed the unrest on what he called ethnic differences, and later he changed it to be a failed insurrection. But whatever the case may be, it's clear as night follows day that our government and our security services were not prepared for what was to follow. 7 days of hell, and our people were in absolute fear. The police were hardly anywhere to be seen. In fact, they themselves were taken by complete surprise. And this resulted in communities standing up and protecting their neighborhoods, protecting their properties, and protecting their lives. That is the reality. And that's exactly what happened here in these two major cities in South Africa. So, but what's made the news is an area called Phoenix, where about 36 people lost their lives. Now, 36 people, as opposed to over 300 people, that is about 10% of the total number of people that died. But this government chooses to focus only on this area called Phoenix. And I need to make it very clear that this whole failed insurrection or overthrow or coup d'etat, whatever you want to call it, came as a complete surprise. And communities did what they had to do to protect themselves. Now, what is interesting is I was in Phoenix the past Sunday, and while I was there, the Minister of Police, Bheki Cele, had made another stop at Phoenix. And he is there because he wants to get to the bottom of how the 36 people died in Phoenix. My question to the government and to Becky Cele, the Minister of Police, is what about the other 270 or so people that died? Why is the focus only on the Phoenix 36? And every week you are there in Phoenix to get to the bottom of those killings. The other lives don't matter. The real reason is that the other 270 people that died was actually black on black violence. And here in Phoenix, it was about, it was Indians that were involved, South African Indians, a minority community in South Africa that were involved. Now I want to read to you the latest article. And here the media in South Africa is obviously fueling, that's what I believe, they're fueling this narrative that the main crux of what happened during this looting frenzy here in South Africa was about Phoenix. And we completely losing the plot. We're placing emphasis on all the side issues and not getting to the bottom of what really caused this problem. And I'll explain to you why just now, if you'll just bear with me for a short while. Now, News 24 reports that more than 150 firearms were seized from security companies as police probe Phoenix murders. That is the headline. On Sunday, Police Minister Becky Cele visited communities in Phoenix and surrounding areas to give an update on investigations to the murders of 36 people during the unrest. Cele said several private security companies were being investigated for their alleged role in the murders. 36 people have been arrested to date for the 33 murders in Phoenix. Now hear this. The story goes on to say more than 150 firearms have been seized for ballistic testing from private security companies being investigated for their alleged role in the killing of people in Phoenix during the civil unrest in July. Now, Minister Becky Cele, your focus has been primarily on Phoenix. You're going after security companies. And it's stated here that there were more than three security companies that are being investigated and firearms have been removed. Now, what many of you don't know is when this sudden attack took place, these private security companies, together with law-abiding citizens who do not get involved in criminal activities, they got together to protect their neighborhoods. And this will surprise all of you, they even protected the police stations because the police ran away in fear. And that is exactly what had happened. And now the police department is targeting security companies and making the killings in Phoenix the end all and be all of everything. I do not condone the killings in Phoenix, but I want us to make this factual. Let's get to the bottom of this. It's not about race. Now the government, South African government, is busy deflecting issues away from its own failure and the fact that they were taken by surprise and their own security cluster was in complete disarray, which was confirmed by President Ramaphosa. Now, the issue that I want to raise with you is very simple, and that is, what started these looting and rioting? What was the cause of this? You see, the majority of those that looted, and were involved in riots and killed people are those that are living in abject poverty in South Africa. You see, South Africa, and this is what the government will not tell you, is that over 55% of the South African population live below the poverty line. And They are predominantly Black South Africans, Indians, and Khaleds. That is the factual situation here in South Africa. Also, we've lost over 4 million jobs in South Africa, and many homes do not have a breadwinner. Now, who is responsible for poverty levels being so high and our unemployment rate being so high? And in addition to that, the people of South Africa, those that live in informal settlements, live in abject poverty, in squalor conditions. And who is responsible for that? Is it the people of Phoenix? Is it the Indian community of South Africa? The answer is a loud, resounding no. The answer is simple. It's this ANC government, the same ANC government that promised their supporters and the people of South Africa a better life for all. And it failed dismally. So is it any wonder that Minister Bheki Cele, who is an ANC member and an NEC member of the ANC, and the Minister of Police in South Africa, spends the majority of his time in Phoenix trying to find the killers and removing firearms from security companies that were basically protecting the people of Phoenix when his own police failed to act, that he's spending all his time there focusing on less than 10% of those that had died in this mayhem that was caused by looters. So we were to see the police minister give us a report on the other killings. Why? Are those killings not important? That Minister Bheki does not want to talk about the other killings. He's just focusing on Phoenix and making this to be a racial issue. This racial issue, the hatred that's being sowed between the Indian and the African community is simply a deflection. They want to deflect the emphasis away from their own failings, this government's failings, and the failure of the police department to protect the citizens of this country. It is ultimately government's responsibility to ensure that its citizens are safe and secure. And that's the reason we have a multitude of law enforcement agencies. We've got the South African Police Services, we've got the South African National Defence Force, we've got the Metropolitan Police Services, and a host of other agencies. And they have failed. It's because of their failure to protect citizens that people lost their lives. Over 300 people lost their lives. And while we're at it, yesterday we celebrated, I wouldn't say celebrated, but we commemorated the Marikana massacre. The Marikana massacre was caused through an instruction given by a senior government minister in South Africa to the police to shoot, to kill. That is the reality. So let's not shift the emphasis away from the facts. And the facts is that the ANC government has failed to protect the citizens of this country. Our own state security departments and our own intelligence did not pick up this uprising in time. Furthermore, when the issues with Zuma began to surface, if you recall, the night that Zuma was arrested, his supporters were going on national television, making statements that they will make this country ungovernable and they will bring the country down to its knees and that they will reset the economy. These were statements that they were making. We called on President Ramaphosa to immediately send in the army because we knew that KwaZulu-Natal is a very delicate province. This is a province where hundreds, if not thousands of people have lost their lives in a war that was raging over many years, a tribal war in this particular province. So it was very, very important that the president acted and acted almost immediately. Unfortunately, he didn't. And the 3 days that he took aside, that was the 3 days that the looting took place and 300 people lost their lives. And now the focus is on what happened in Phoenix, and to make this seem like it's an Indian or African issue when it is not. It is really not. So our appeal as the African Democratic Change to Minister Bheki Cele is, one, go out and look at all the 300 people that died. Your focus should be on finding out exactly what caused the deaths of over 300 people. It's not just a question of Phoenix and what happened in Phoenix. And stop this hunting down and targeting the private security companies. Many of them did a sterling piece of work in protecting your own police stations during this unrest. And many of them actually, at no cost to themselves, were protecting the communities of Phoenix, of Chatsworth, of Umhlanga, where Minister Bheki Cele lives, by the way, and other suburbs in our areas. Had it not been for these security companies and for individuals in our communities, we don't know what could have been. That death toll would have been far higher than that. So, as you see, the focus by the Department of Safety and Security is, the police department, is on private securities. They make the general statement, and in the article, that the security companies were leading the charge in the abuse and murders of people. These companies are being investigated. And this is what Bheki Cele says. He says that there were 7 of them that are being investigated, and 3 were leading the charge. And the 3 companies he mentions is Reaction Unit, VIP Security, and others. Hello? 3 companies. One, it's Reaction Unit. The other is VIP Security. And the third company is called Others. I'd like to know, where is this security company called Others? We have Others Security Company. Come on, Minister Bheki. Who's writing your speeches, man? Then the firearms, the article says, which belong to the companies that are being investigated, were taken for testing to see what crimes they were involved in. Their work should be within the law. And if they are being used for the wrong things, we test them. The owners of these companies should be arrested if they broke the law, and the companies must be closed, he added. What about those that killed the other 270 people, Minister Bheki? Why aren't you targeting them? Why don't we read about that in the newspapers here in South Africa? I'll tell you why. This is being made out to be a race issue when it is not. It's a criminal issue. Go out and get the criminals. That's your job. But across the board, whether they come from African, Indian, colored, or white communities, your job is to go out and apprehend all those criminals. And right now, by focusing all your attention on Phoenix, you are making this out to be an Indian African thing. Just not so long ago, the EFF, which didn't want to be outdone, staged a march in Phoenix, claiming that they initially wanted to march against racist Indians. Can you see the extent of the racial tensions that's being ignited by our own government and politicians simply because they're playing to the public gallery? Let's stop this. And my appeal also goes out to these journalists who sensationalize everything. They want to make everything into a story, so they don't care about what the implications are. Journalists, go out, start doing your job. Tell us also what happened to the other 270 people that died during this unrest. I thank you for listening in.